Greetings! Welcome here to Charles Boulevard. Today we're gonna keep our promise, and I must say that we gave this promise to Dermot because Dermot asked us that maybe it would be a good idea to talk about the bass guitar. And I must say I don't feel I'm the right person to talk about bass guitar because I'm not the bassist. I'm a guitar player. So I was still thinking, what should I say? And I think I will try to introduce the recording technique of bass guitar much more than bass guitar playing. But at first, what I use, I have a bass guitar here in my studio only for my use when I need to record some demo. And I bought a couple of cheap basses, and I was never happy with the sound. And then I bought a guitar kit, just do-it-yourself thing. So I built this bass, and I was surprised. It was the best sounding cheap bass that I have ever played and that I have ever had in my studio, even from the other guys. I must say, for me, it sounds even better than some pretty expensive instruments, which is ridiculous because I'm talking about instrument that is under $100, you know, and that's amazing. But it's kind of a precision bass. I wanted something simple because there's not much to do wrong, and it works great. So I just show you just a couple of. It's just it's a bass, and what I use Albion combo for that, which is tube preamp and solid state power amp, and I found it great sounding. It's just that's it. And what we did, we used this bass for all the Charles Boulevard recordings and that combo. And now, what we can do, how to record the bass, there are three possibilities what you can do. One of them is that you go directly to the board, to the mixer. So that's what we call line. Then we can go directly from the output of the amp, which means that the sound goes through the preamp section and then goes to the board. That's the other possibility. And the third possibility is a microphone in front of the speaker. Most of the people would probably say that microphone is the best. I think even more common is the combination of two. It means line and microphone. And what we did, we chose the version of going straight out of the amp. And I tell you why. The thing about microphone is that if you have a real great bass, very good amp, and very good speaker, then you're okay. But if you want to take it through microphone, you need to have the right microphone and a real good one. And I must say this is the weakest part of the chain. So I think I have pretty good mic for bass, but I still wasn't happy, and you will hear it very soon. So this is the first part. Enjoy my great DIY guitar. Make yourself something like that. Dermot, greetings. And now let's look to the control room. Let's go to the control room and let's compare the sounds of the three. I recorded just one riff and I did it 3 versions. So now we can hear the difference. Let's go.
Small surprise, I'm back. I've got permission to take part in.
Okay, let me introduce you. This is Bernie PB.
Yeah, as usual. Hi everyone.
Okay, well, we are in the control room, and as I said, we have three tracks here, and it's completely the same thing recorded at once, and with a different routing. So the first one is just the line. It means that this goes directly from the bass guitar to the mixing board.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit hairy. It sounds. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, because now when we listen to the one that goes from the amp, it's very similar, but it has some kind of quality.
Yeah. The sound is cultivated.
It's like more polished.
Yeah.
And now hear it.
Yeah, it's very close to the previous one.
Yeah. But it's really polished, and I really think that this is exactly, once it goes through that electronic circuit in the preamp with a valve in it, there is some kind of natural, or if we can say about electronic natural compression that is created. It means that all those extremes are kind of are not that sharp. We have
really nice.
This is the polished signal, and now we go to the mic, and now you hear this is very, very raw, and I would say great in some point. For punk, I would use it immediately.
Yeah.
But you hear that now there is probably a little bit the weakness of the microphone, and maybe even the speaker hurt, and it's
yeah, it's a little bit aggressive. Yeah,
it's more aggressive.
Pavel, what is really interesting for me, the great moment is, I mean, in all versions, when I'm listening to the bass guitar, the sound, I can physically see shaking strings.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very. I like it.
Yeah. And now this is another point that is pretty important, and that's what we learned, and that's what we tried, and I think I was talking about it in one streaming. I think, and you don't have to agree, but I think that what I want from the bass is, of course, the bass frequencies, for sure, because that's what it brings to the music, the bass. But I want to know what the bass is playing. So there should be some clarity in the sound.
Of course.
And what I found, you need to have a sound that has enough of mid-range frequencies and high-range trebles, because this is what articulates the sound to understand. And very common problem is that the bass players like to put a lot of bass into their sound, but the bass is already there because they play that low.
Yeah.
But when there's too much of bass, you have only some kind of muddy sound.
Exactly.
You don't understand what's going on. That you're on the mushrooms probably.
Yeah.
So this is the point, and you hear right now that I tried to create on the amp. I tried to create more articulated high frequency sound of the bass, because you can always put some bass in it, just with the EQ if you like.
Yeah.
But if it's not there, if the highs are not there, where can you go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Exactly.
Yeah. Pavel, my words. I tell you, we are on the same side, Pavel.
Yeah, sure. And I must say, what we use, and now we can compare it, in our recordings, we use that amp. So this kind of signal, and then we put the EQ that gives even more highs and mids,
Yeah.
and a compression, and it's like this. And now you hear how it shines,
Yeah.
and mainly how understandable it is. Exactly,
great.
you know what you're playing. And now we can compare. If you want the sound to be very bassy, you know, I just rid of the highs, put off much more bass. There's a lot of bass already, but I can put more, and you will hear that.
Yeah.
And I have the bass, you know,
Yeah.
because it's there. And now I can even use some subharmonics for bass, and
But still, it's rather clear for my ears.
yes. But now listen. Can you have more bass? Probably
No,
not.
no.
You know? So, and
I'm
this
going
is-
to be ill.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. It's much better to concentrate on recording good highs and mids on the bass guitar than on the bass, because the bass is naturally there, and you can always add it during the mixing. But if you don't have the highs and you don't understand what the bass is playing, then you will never insert it in. You know, it will never appear because it's rolled off, and this is the problem. So that's what we tried, and that's why we finally decided to go to record it only from the line, from the amp, and not through the microphone, because the microphone tends to be too aggressive and you know, there is a lack of some frequencies that we would prefer, because the microphone itself is limited.
Yeah.
You know. But it's mainly probably because we don't have the right microphone. That may be the answer. But I must say, I'm happy we did it that way, because the sound of the bass is great in the recording of Charles Boulevard.
So am I.
Yes, great. So I think that's all. If you have any question, write it down to the comments. Subscribe to our channel, of course, and enjoy all the songs, because we are almost at the end of creating our first album,
Yeah.
which we called
First masterpiece.
First Masterpiece. Exactly. All right, so great thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yeah.
Viva Charles Boulevard!